of Hang 5. We'll kick off. Councillor Dudley Mazenell is very close, so we'll get into it before I get into trouble. Starting too late. Welcome to this ordinary council meeting Tuesday, 27th of January, 2026. Straight into the agenda. Attendances, apologies, and approved leave of absence. We have an approved leave of absence for Councillor Kelly. Our apology is CEO Andy Dexter and our acting CEO Steph Lepper is in for declarations of interest. I have two declarations of interest. I have a declaration from Councillor Luke Stender on item 7.1.3, council response to review of the section 64 liquor restrictions. Councillor Skender's interest is he is a volunteer at the Dalmatia Club, and the extent of the interest is that they are licensed to allow takeaway alcohol to be sold. That is an indirect interest as he is a member of the club and will not gain. The second one is from Councillor Maureen Beard on item 7.1.3. The nature of the interest is financial, and the extent of the interest is Mr. Beard is the owner of an operator of the Port Hotel. Therefore, the interest is financial and will take no part in the debate or decision. That's it. Public question time. Do we have, other than Mr. Gooch's? What's on that?
Cambridge Station. The Carnarvon Shire Council is aware of the Carnarvon Shire what appears to be total disdain of volunteers. Firstly, initially inviting volunteers, email 5th of May 2025, to the National Volunteers Week of Woods Gala Night at a cost of $30 a ticket, which was much later rescinded. That all the volunteers of the Carnarvon Bush Fire Brigade, of which there is no such brigade, so I assume they mean the Gascoyne River Bush Fire Brigade, are required to complete the Carnarvon Shire's Code of Conduct training for correspondence 2nd September, which I can only assume incorporates training on how to take photos of their fire hoses and post them on electronic media and disregard written policy. And how are you going to rectify this situation? Section 2, if extremely hard to get volunteers are required to do this training, to be allowed to volunteer are all Carnarvon Shire's contractors and suppliers, small and large, required to do this training? And if not, why? Are the Carnarvon Shire councillors aware what appears to be the Carnarvon Shire's poor attempt at fire break notice? And could they please explain a pastoral internal boundary and the reasons the notice was not sent out until the 24th of November?
Thank you, David, and welcome, Councillor Dudley Maswell. In answer to your first question, which was regarding the volunteers Gala night, the answer to that is quite simple, no. Then for the rest of there's basically another two questions in there. Adherence to the code ensures consistent standards of behaviour, professionalism, integrity and accountability when volunteers are representing the Shire, engaging with the community using Shire resources or performing public functions. This is critical to maintaining public trust, ensuring safety and respectful conduct and meeting the Shire's statutory obligations under the Local Government Act 1995. Compliance also protects volunteers, the brigade and the Shire by providing clear expectations, guidance on ethical decision making and mechanisms for managing and addressing misconduct if it arises. Question 2 is that it's extremely hard to get volunteers, etc. And doing training. Contractors are all Shire of Carnarvon's contractor suppliers, small and large, required to do the training? Yes, they are. Are the Shire's Carnarvon Shire's councillors aware of what appears to be the poor attempt to fire break notice? I'll let that notice and get back to you on that one. Rich, thank you very much. Any further questions?
I have, but I haven't got a moment.
You can do them without them provided afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're on my phone.
Yeah.
You can you stand up at the lectern?
Yeah.
Read them out and you put your name forward towards the
I've got half of some written down on Gelgers. To the president, under the Local Government Act 1995, what mechanisms does the council have in place to monitor, ensure that critical emergency management positions, such as the SESM's role, are established and functioning effectively? And how is the council currently assured that these mechanisms are operating in as intended?
There are mechanisms in place, and my current understanding is that an MOU has been agreed to between the three shires for the SESM's position.
Right. Question 2. In accordance with the Emergency Management Act of 2005, can council advise what risk assessment or compliance reviews have been conducted regarding the delayed implementation, the SESM's role, and what steps have been taken to mitigate any operational or statutory risk arising from this delay?
No, I can't provide an answer to that, but we'll take that one on notes and get back to you with the answer.
Right. Question 3. Can council advise why, under the previous CEO, the Shire of Carnarvon maintained a working relationship with the Shire of Upper Gascoyne, Shire of Shark Bay, and why such collaborative arrangements do not appear to exist under this current CEO? What steps, if any, is the council taking to ensure the regional collaboration and partnership are maintained and operational strategic purposes?
Right, in regard to that one, council, I'm not sure the council is fully aware of there being problems. I think it's probably something that council will need to do is ask if what you're referring to. If those problems do exist, I'm quite sure that the executive would be aware of them and will be able to inform council on what those issues are. So we'll investigate that one and provide a full answer once that's occurred. Okay. Thank you. Moving right along, is there any further questions from the public? Being no further questions taken on notice from the previous meeting, there are nil. Confirmation and receiving of minutes, the minutes of ordinary council meeting 16th of December 25. The mover, please. Councillor Young. Councillor Skender. Is there any debate, questions or comments, councillors? Being none, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you very much. We have the minutes of the Audit and Risk Committee and Improvement Committees for the 26th of August 2025, 9th of December 2025, and the 16th of December 2025. Mover, please. Councillor Farina. And Councillor Skender. Once again, councillors, is there any debate, questions, comments? There being none, it is adopted unanimously. Thank you very much. Number 6, presentations, petitions and memorial. So we have the lovely ladies, Mrs. Britton and Ms. Debbie Milton. Oh, my apologies, people. Yes, fact I do. I'd like to thank the team for the fantastic efforts over the weekend. On Monday, the 26th, sorry, not the whole weekend, I think. But yeah, all I've heard is extremely positive comments about the weekend, which was really good, and the fireworks last night were quite special. The other one I want to bring up, which I've started to do a bit of work on, is last week we had a significant weather event, and I think it's going to have a significant impact upon our growing area. In fact, in some areas, massive impact. So I've started work talking to ministers, especially the federal minister, to see if we can get heat events added to the weather events that can receive recovery funding, etc. So I'll discuss that further with council later on. But just to let you know that I've made the government fully aware of just how much damage it has occurred in the area. So I don't think I'll really. But great day yesterday. Right. Carnarvon Senior Sits update. Ladies.
Morning, everyone. Before I go into my spiel, may I just thank you for this opportunity to bring you up to date with what is happening, the issues we're facing, and the activities that we're doing throughout the community. As in most volunteer organisations, membership is one of our biggest hurdles. Members have remained static. So although we've seen an increase in new members, natural attrition has obviously meant we've lost a lot of our older members and infirm members. The difficulty in attracting new members is people do not like to consider themselves to be seniors. So while we're trying to promote the community part of it, it's the seniors bit that sticks in people's minds. Fees and associated costs are also a deterrent, as witnessed by the substantial increase of attendees at free events. Other hurdles are finding contractors ready to commit to performing repairs and maintenance at the hall. The ever-increasing outgoing costs, which we mitigate from the income of our weekly bingo sessions, and the occasional hiring of the hall for private functions and events. And as has already been mentioned previously, lack of volunteers. Most of our committee members, despite their age, also volunteer at other clubs and associations, which leaves them time poor. What have we been up to? This one's a bit long-winded, so I'll ask you to bear with me. We host regular Tuesday and Thursday morning get-togethers. We hold bi-monthly lunch outings to local venues. We host weekly Wednesday evening bingo and during the tourist season, Friday morning bingo sessions. We invite guest speakers in to address our members. We host a free health check with members, with medical students from WACRA. We host meditation sessions. We provide the use of the hall for Seniors Week celebrations, gentle gym, Indigenous dance group rehearsals, and the annual Lions Christmas lunch. We have loaned equipment and provided volunteers for the planning and running of the All Abilities Day. Excuse me. We provided the hall, the equipment and volunteers for the planning and running of the Have a Go Day. Our members spent many hours handcrafting the yarn bombing decorations, for the main street. We host morning tea for our supporters and sponsors. Ran raffles for Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Hosted community quiz night. Applied for and received a grant from Chevron to replace our chairs. Organised and planned the mystery tour sponsored by the Old Bees. We visited the Carnarvon the Carnarvon Christian School for the dress rehearsal of their end of year awards night concert. Hall maintenance that we've achieved. We replaced the vandalised solar hot water system, replaced the reticulation system, moved our gas cylinders and installed the appropriate cage for the same, replaced the motor on the roller door, repaired leaking dishwasher and leaking taps in the kitchen, and replaced toilet systems and toilet seats. Our hopes for the coming year is to continue the club Tuesday and Thursday mornings, bi-monthly lunch outings, etc. We'd like to investigate new ways to attract new members. Options include hosting an open day, holding a have a go day every 2 or 3 months. It was great to see our members and visitors participating in pool, carpet bowls, indoor basketball, bean toss, etc. And to see them moving from one group to another, instead of just sitting with the same few people each week. So it was a really fabulous day. Again, we'd like to attract volunteers. We will continue our weekly bingo sessions because financially without it, we would be in the red. We plan this year to hold a quiz night during the tourist season. We decided to hold this every second year rather than yearly, so it doesn't put such an onus on local businesses and sponsors. We have a limited number of businesses in town, and it's unfair for everyone to be getting them every year. Again, we'd like to attract some guest speakers. We celebrate St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Mother's Day, Christmas in July, Father's Day, Halloween, Melbourne, anything we can find as an excuse, we'll celebrate. We award attendees prizes for best dress, taking part in quizzes, things like that. We obviously celebrate Seniors Week. We hold thank you morning tea for our sponsors and supporters. We will again plan this year's mystery tour for the Old Bees, and we like to achieve the required maintenance on the whole, but that is proving problematic again because of the lack of available contractors. Our kitchen bench and cupboards need replacing. We need an electrician for the lighting, and we need to source a ladder lift for the ceiling fans. And lastly, we need to install security lights. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Well done. Busy evening. Well, councillors, we'll move straight into departmental reports. Governance action formed under delegated authority for the months of December 25 and January 26. I move it, please. Councillor Farina. Seconded, Councillor Skender. Councillors, is there any debate? Question? Being no debate, question. I'll declare that adopted. Mr. Hill, 7-0. Item 7.1.2, status of council's decision in the month January 2026. Councillors, move it, please. The Maslin. Second, in councillors, is there any debate or comments? There being none, that's adopted again unanimously, 7 minutes. Item 7.1.3, council response to review of section 64 liquor restrictions. Gas and injunction, councillor. Leave the room, thank you. And councillor Skender has an interest, but we will remain. Thank you. Right, I move it. Councillor Farina. Second up, please, Councillor Young. Councillors, is there any debate, discussion, questions on this item? Question. Yep.
So just noticed, I was trying to find it, or actually the letter that was sent out to the liquor and clubs that were effectively sent this letter. It also mentioned in that letter changes that there was a partialist and remote workers that were prior to the proposed changes to be exempt from the restrictions now included the restrictions. Is that correct? So it reads a bit odd, reads in between the boundaries of the local government authority. Is that we got clarification on that?
So through the chair, I haven't got the letter in front of me, but it does, we have tried to address that and amend the definition of tourist, but I also believe. Stated in this one. Around the boundaries, but it was part in the definition of tourist. And we did focus the language around exclusion or visiting from outside of the gas line, depending if you were alcohol. So the extent of our response was focused mainly around our concerns around definition of tourism in that respect. But our draft letter does state that the vision of station stays is stations obviously a concern, but it's not clear what boundaries they're talking about.
But if it's not clear, then we can't support it. But can we ask some questions over getting some clarity over exactly what they are before we move forward?
Well, currently because we haven't, because in this report it does say this, local government hasn't been requested to make comments on the restrictions. We're just doing that on behalf of the community because we believe it's an extensive issue impacting our community. So rather than going back with questions, we're best going back with our responses, because obviously all the responses were labelled together and then they're going to make obviously a decision on the changes to restrictions. They're currently in consultation phase, but we simply can go back as well with additional clarity.
Well, that being the case, do we need to state in there that parcels in the Gascoyne area are exempt from the restrictions? And this question about asking liquor outlets to ask people, are you here for a funeral before they can be served, is only going to lead to conflict. It really is, and that needs to be totally removed. Any other issues?
Well, I understand the intent, Shire coming forward with the response. Even though we were never asked to or been included in the proposed changes. Are we time bound as such, being the local government authority, being the fact that that notice of changes, like you said, it's not clear, that also dragged in our surrounding council shires, Gascoyne Junction, Exmouth, Shark Bay, whether it would have more impact, really would, if we were to go together as a collective of 4 shires to get some consistency around these proposed changes. I think it's just fluffing around the edges. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I understand why you want to get it up, but are we really restricted or quite time bound? Whereas the outlets, they've been told, here, get these are the proposals, get back to the objections, or what do you think about it? Whereas the local government authority, I thought, would have been able to put forward a position when they are ready to put forward a strong solid position, I imagine, as the Shire President mentioned before, around consistency and equity.
I mean, yeah,
Councillor Young.
Is it, sorry, is this letter have to be sent by the 30th? Is that correct?
letter in that was sent to licensee says the deadline for consultation on the changes is by the 30th. So if we want to respond to that letter specifically, and address the key changes, then I think we probably do need to respond by the 30th with a specifically on the key interest. But if council decides to also put forward another position, I guess, with the other councils on the greater impact, then that's probably something to be considered separately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher impact, yeah.
I think it'll be fine to do both, quite honestly. Amend the definition of tourist, I think is critical, but maybe it being amend the definition of tourist pastoralists / pastoralists. Resident and remote workers. Because you've got big well on one side, so small mining operation. So remote workers, add those 3 words to item 6. That's the advice for now.
So where it reads the key issues. So as long as they're included in the key issues, the response to I'd strongly support a joint submission or position if that's the way the council wanted to go as well. So then on including the gas line. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You just move on.
Get this one in before the 30th and then
Yeah.
initiate the process of
Process.
engaging
I
or
think it's important that we initiate that process.
would you like to move? You add that? We move. Councillor Verena, you move that. Would you like that to become point 3 that we initiate a process of engaging the other 3 councils in our region? Yes, please.
Obviously,
Reference to all just exemptions.
Exemptions for station of parcels. Okay, so in the verifications, it does say what happens to bulk purchase exemptions. Exemptions for station owners, parcels, or remote workers will apply only if their business operates outside of Parliament and beyond 5 kilometres of the local government district. Verification of local workers may be required. Councillor Mason.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a statement. Advance that forward down. I've got it quickly, but I've got it. Yes, Mr. President, I tend to agree with Councillor Maslin with his observation that this is wishy-washy. We've been dragged into this quicksand by typical government manoeuvre. And that is to alert you 1 week, 10 days before a deadline when you have to answer some particular correspondence. Not just in this, that's the tactic that they use.
Yeah, but this, they haven't asked us to respond. They've asked the liquor out. We're just showing the liquor out to some support. I
We
understand.
represent it, and I understand the tenuous connection, but it's not that tenuous because it affects the community. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
But this is a typical thing. Now, why we're allowing ourselves to be dragged into this debate and discussion and community consultation with the government is beyond me, because this is straight out discriminatory. Carnarvon has been picked out and pilloried, and we've gone along with it as a community because we want to make things better, and we're happy to assist the authorities. The police have done a wonderful job. They're in a no-win situation. They can't pick up kids and make them go to school. They can't take them to some house because there's no responsibility. It's just a mess. I mean, it is a mess. Now, that's not just Carnarvon. This is a nationwide
Disgraceful situation. So I'm suggesting that we, when we speak to the liquor licensing people, we give them our total support to say they will take their time in answering this. I don't mean never. I mean, they need some weeks at least. I think that's only reasonable. We'd all think that, but it's really, it's a national issue. Where in this town is housing? Because you go down what's the place in Canal, it's housing. There's every one of us in this room, including in the gallery, would know that people who have disrupted living conditions all the time because of the antisocial behaviour. And I mean people partying all night and chucking things over the fence and all that. I mean, it's a national issue. It's not just Carnarvon. This is not something to go out into the public and say we're up to creek. The fact is, it's a national issue, and unless this gets attended and people stop being patronised and treated as victims instead of being helped, then this is going to go on. As I say, where's housing? Where's the education department? It's law in this land that children of school age must go to school. If we got in a car now and drove from here to the jetty, or David Brand Drive, I would be very surprised we don't see at least a dozen children of school age walking around. Right. Now, there'll be some excuse for it all, but where's the education department? Housing, I've mentioned. DCP, same thing. These children wandering out at night, after hours, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Our kids aren't out. Now, we're lucky, I suppose. We come from privileged households. But the fact is, we care about our kids too. We don't let them go out and wander around the town and give them the mischief. We get them in. And health is another one. You go into some of these houses, they are a health hazard. Almost as bad as Woolies, I reckon. They are very, very, we are pandering to the government. They've led us into this through the channel of the liquor agents, of the liquor suppliers. And I think that we need to look at this very carefully and show some leadership here and say, enough is enough. This discrimination has cost this town tourism, it's cost the town businesses, it's cost. It's not bloody good enough. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Godley Maslin. I totally agree with you. And yes, all those other things are impacting us. But I think the major thing that we should highlight to the state government is anything to work in this state, it has to be equitable. Absolutely. So if you're going to treat us like that, you treat every other town in this state the same way. And that becomes equitable and nobody has an advantage over anybody else. So I think the message, the strong message that has to go back to the government is equity, please. So thank you for moving right on. Thank you for that. I think we've got a way forward. Madam CEO. Yes, so item three to be added is initiate the process of engaging the other three shires of Gascoyne to provide a joint, solid submission reflecting consistency and equity across the shires and in fact the state, please, if you could add those words. The two movers of that motion, are you happy with that? I'm happy with that. Thank you, Councillor Scandal. Anything you want to ask? You did.
No, I fully agree with what.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so all right. I think we've discussed that enough, councillors. I'll put the. Is there any debate, any further debate or comments?
I'd just like to say I agree with putting forward that we will give licensing any excuse for any city deadlines that they want to impose on the community. So we tick a box, we get this issue better quickly. Thank you for the staff for getting it in. Time together for us. I really appreciate that. And then I wholeheartedly agree with Councillor Maslin that we take a bigger approach and get more momentum with the other shires as well. And something as a bit more of a group and a bit more behind us. Thank you, everybody, for your efforts.
Thank you. With that, council, we'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Adopted the unanimous system 7 0. Item. I'll wait for councillor. Item 6. Hey, right. Councillors, item 7.2.1, accounts paid under delegation December 2025. I would move it, please. Councillor. Then Maslow, second please. Councillor Scanlon. Councillors, is there any debate, questions or comments? Being none, it's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.2.2 monthly financial report. Councillor Scott, move it, please. Councillor Farina. And Councillor Maslow. Bear with me, I'm just checking my notes. Right, Catherine. Is there any debate, comments, questions?
Question, please, if that's okay.
Yep.
I asked last week, just to think more about it. So, so at the moment, we're advertising for seeking out finance manager, I believe. Yep. And then of an employee vacating the role. And then we've had more Russell from. Yeah. So I did, and forgive me for asking to again, bring it up. So the ongoing nature of this service, so if we're advertising now for senior, when we fill that role, will the service continue from Russell back for the monthly reporting?
Yes,
It
so
will continue.
for the last 5 years, we also had the support of an external accountant as well,
Yeah.
which was at West.
Yeah.
Yep, so at West have retired, so successful.
Places them.
That's why.
Right, and then that's so that then the cost of that a service comes under that materials and contracts component. So I think it's in the not under employee cost. Yeah. Any consult.
And councillors, is there any further questions? Being no further questions, that's it. Adopted unanimously, Mr. Silly. Councillors, I was very remiss of me. I didn't inform councillor Beard of the outcome of that previous motion, which that's the word for. The motion was put and with a change to. Please. There's. Sorry. There was a third dot point at councillor Beard, which is to initiate the process of engaging the other three shires of the Gascoyne region to provide a joint solid information reflecting consistency and equity across the shire, the three shires and the state. So just wanted to add that. Okay. Thank you very much, and I apologise again for updating you. Right, item 7.3.1, coastal hazard risk management and adaptation plan charter. Councillors, move please. Councillor B. Maslow. Second, please. Councillor Farina. Councillors, is there any debate? Questions?
Noted, thanks Stefan for all your hard work on this. It's been a long and arduous process, no doubt, and so council realises there's a lot of work to go into this, and it's sort of been again ingratiated on us by the state, but it is what it is. It's a lot of document. And basically it's to be just as a tool so that we can then advocate for funding, hazard risk management, etc. So thanks for all your work, Stefan, and hopefully, yeah, that's done. Next year I'll do for you all this one.
That's any other councillors got any? I'll take that as you're speaking for the motion. Any speakers against the motion?
I'll ask the question if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, just want to reiterate, councillor, as I said before, yeah, it's, it is. Although, sorry to be, I do feel a little bit, it's a very large document and there's some costings that are good low now, I think, for all the, sits a little bit separate to that, report by the Seashore Engineering as well about a year ago. But I believe that report helped feed into the charter. So, just a couple of questions. Would it be possible for the council to be briefed by what we will get through ladies from Department of Transport brief us on the LG project? Would it be possible for the department, if we invite them to brief us on this particular project from their aspect, council? And if so, if this was to not go out to consultation just yet until we were briefed, is there any implications on phones?
Thank you, councillor. Are there any further speakers for the motion? That was a question. Okay, councillors, I will speak to this because I was put in a pretty difficult position a few months ago when I was asked by a journalist, what are you going to do with the $6 million? I had no idea what they were talking about, none whatsoever. I knew nothing. So it appears to me there's been a massive amount of work, and it has been done, to get to the point where the funding was made available for this project. And I received this document a week ago. So I'm trying to get my head around exactly what is going to be done, what the whole process has been, and on getting to the point where we're at. Now, I find it really interesting. I attended a community consultation at the Yacht Club in August 23, I believe it was. Might have been 24. Yeah. And I walked out of that after about half an hour because it became an absolute dog breakfast of a, and I can't describe it in any other way, but none of it was making any real sense. So I've sat down and I've read through this document. I need to have some really solid understanding of exactly what's going to be done. I'm trying to get my head around where this document is 12 months old. Effectively, it's February 2025. There are figures in there on what is proposed to be done. I'd like to see some substantiation behind those figures so that we are comfortable. If we're going to adopt something like this, we are fully across. I mean, fully across what exactly has occurred to date and what is proposed to occur. So we are really, really clear on what is going to happen and where the funding is coming from and what it's going to be spent on. And in fact, is it enough funding to do the job with some contingency building? I don't know. So at the moment, I'd like to foreshadow the motion and suggest a motion where we defer this until such time as council has been fully engaged and informed on exactly what is going to happen.
I will second that motion.
Councillor Manuel.
Yeah, it's a different, sorry, yeah, it's just for clarification. That separate to the motion that we have on the table. Yeah, so that's.
Yep. Yep.
So that's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. So
Yes.
it's the chairman, yeah, okay. Makes it clear.
Yep.
Two separate.
Yep. I will speak to that as well. I absolutely understand that this is totally separate. But I don't want the consultation on this to start until I am fully aware of exactly what is happening. I understand the funding is in place now. And I don't know what the process has been to get to that point and whether or not it's going to do the work that's in it. So going out to public consultation, my experience with the one public consultation event that I know occurred wasn't very good. So I think I'd like to understand what the community really think. This will have a massive impact upon our community. If we get inundated, there'll be a massive impact on our community. But from what I've read, what they're proposing to do is extremely significant. And people along the Fasine Wall, I remember the argy-bargy that occurred when the first block went up on the current Fasine Wall and people couldn't see the water. What are they going to do when that gets even? What are they going to say? We need to get the community's comments on this and understanding of this. Bring it to us this is bringing it to us to endorse the draft coastal hazard risk management adaptation plan for Coral Bay for the purpose of public consultation. This consultation should have been done over a year ago at a minimum. So let's go back and start again is what I'm saying. With that, councillors, is there any further speakers for the motion? I've spoken against it twice. Sorry.
Yeah. Or you say you want to move
Full set up.
Yeah, what is that? So D third.
Can we just, so because they are two separate projects, so the coastal hazard management, plan-
Which lead directly into this.
yes, but just to be clear, would there potentially be any financial impacts to the council to delay it? 'Cause that would mean additional lots of time involved in the process.
If, yes, if the consultants will have to come back to the water station, I believe it's passed on previously, but
So we can move forward with keeping it separate. So let's just focus on the chart map as it's presented. So what you were seeking was for an additional works to be done with council and review the fees and the costings in the chart map.
So, but from what I can understand, we have the report from Seashore Engineering, which was done February 25. And I know that's done. And then we've had the chart map, which has been ongoing for quite some time. So two different processes, which I completely understand, but somewhat affect each other. So what if we wanted to put out that $6 million grant, then we would have to comply with anything done in the chart map, I believe. Right? This is the sort of, I'm in the dark. I don't know. I haven't been briefed. So what I'm saying is that I need more information from Falcon Transport in regards to the Seashore Engineering report. Copy of the grant application that we submitted in April. And I'd like to be briefed by Falcon Transport about that. And then what sort of how mutually exclusive are these two processes. I mean, they seem like they run pretty close together, and I don't know how they affect each other. And if there's zero risk, there's someone or some uncomfortable nature within the council to see. I don't think we should. There's no charm. There's no indications doing so. So that's my thoughts.
yes, the chart this stage only for consultation purpose. Nothing gets adopted or approved. So I'm not sure why that process should be halted. That can still go ahead and get community consultation and again, council consultation as well. It's purely just for consultation purposes.
So I think if we treat the two projects separately, so just to answer your point around the Department of Transport will be briefing council on the 17th of the CIS. I've organised them to be here in person. So they'll do the briefing on that project on its own. And this was obviously treated separately, but if council feel as though we should delay the implementation of the draft just to understand better this project and how we can get the documents to reflect each other better.
That's what I'm after that information. Please. So that's what I look for.
Move to suspend standing orders.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Young. Quick.
Yes, Mr. President, so, whilst I understand achieve in regards to that board, the office recommendation regards to the char map, which I guess again is very well aware, it's been going on for quite some time. Basically is just to go out that option, right? So if we then decided to approve that, but then president has the option of business arising or the business or wherever it's towards the end without notice, that you could add a motion in there since you can get that for court, so that then this can continue the charm out to go out, but actually with that other proposal the DG and I have actually put together without much consultation with the Shire as a separate issue.
I think the two are combined, so I can't, they come in on the 17th, can't be postponed for that period. So then we can,
Close.
it's better off just moving.
Actually, and that's why I asked that I moved it, full shadow motion that we defer it till such time.
Yeah.
Is because council need to be fully across this. I think it has such an impact on this community. We need to be fully across in exactly what's going to happen, because this chart mapping directly leads to what they're proposing to do. And it appears to me, and I'm going to say it, I think the cart's been put before the horse. Department of Transport have reached the stage where they've probably got an implementation plan ready to go, and we know nothing about it. So I would like to see this process run thoroughly and properly, and our community really well informed, because I know it is going to be. So, and I'm debating now, I'm sure, but I really see this as something that we must, and I'll be 100% honest. This one looks like something DTMI have worked really hard with. Reached the point now when I hand it over to the Shire to do the really hard bit, and that's convince the public. Their little project, sorry, and it's a bit like the airport, and I'm afraid they really got me thinking like that. Airport's gone from being what it was to something that we cannot afford.
Is that going in as the reason? Yeah, because as you foreshadowed, the explanation of it.
Yes, I want a lot more information on the char map itself, and I want that substantiated, how they've reached those figures. And have they, as a, I want to really know, because we go ahead and then nothing happens for the next 25 years. There's going to be people going, why did they do that? Why did they kill our view of the facility? Because that's what will come out of this. We approve, if we are happy with this char map, then that's going to guide any future works. Councillor Skipper.
Yeah, I think that's important to remember that this is.
Yeah,
So we understand it's only going out public consultation, but at the moment there's a fair bit of momentum, especially with that grant application, and I think announced that it was approved, and I think council's a little bit apprehensive and we just need to pull up that momentum a little bit, and I think that's the concern.
Yeah,
And if now if they're here on the 17th, then we can have a conversation with DOT about what their plans are, South Melbourne saying. And then that may provide us some comfort with the, and I know it's separate, but you know, one of the points is identification of areas within the Shire most at risk of coastal erosion. So to me, straight away, they're related to each other. You know, so it makes sense for us to wait till the 17th, have a chat with them. If there's no occasion to delay this, we could do that. Be very. That's just it's just the momentum and there's some apprehensive nature of the council.
And I really want our community to be fully consulted on this one. 100%. And Coral Bay would probably have some issues as well, I'm not sure. So we need to be really across what is in there and the impact on Coral Bay. I know the wall at the front of the AC is due to this charge. What did that cost them? So it's significant, people. All right, so we've got to deal with the substandard motion first. So that was, oh, sorry, councillors. If someone move, we go back into standing orders, please. Councillor, Councillor Skender. There's no debate, councillors, I'll take it. There's no debate, it's adopted unanimously. Still, so councillors, we're back to the substandard motion, which has been put. Do we need to debate that anymore? I think so. So, councillors, all those in favour for the substandard motion, not the foreshadowed motion, the substandard motion. All those in favour? That's lost, Mrs. Hill. Councillors, all we now have the foreshadowed motion. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor W. Mansfield. You're happy with that as written, Councillor? Thank you. So the current motion before us, councillors, is up on the board. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous. This is Hill 7-0. Thank you. Right along. Item 7.3.2. Training order of old bastards and other bin and waste collection requests. And move it, please. Councillor Maslin. Seconded by Councillor Skender. Councillors, is there any debate on this one?
Just like today, normally process is a little bit different. Thank you to acting CEO for author, sorry, Mr. Bone, and yeah, for providing this item. Yeah, wholeheartedly support it. This group of people do a lot now, more than what people traditionally understand what they do on a daily basis to raise that money. So, and I understand the process a little bit skewish, but thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Skender, and I endorse what you're saying. I think they do a fantastic job. The town and support a lot of people with what they do. So without any further ado, councillors, to put it to vote. All those in favour? Thank you. Acceptance of lottery risk grant funding and budget amendment for the Campbell Lane Theatre upgrades. Do I have a mover, please? Yes, to count by simple vote. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this is for operating officers recommendation part 1. So Councillor Farina. And seconder, please. Councillor B. Maslin. Is there any debate on recommendation 1? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Office recommendation part 2, which is by absolute majority. Do I have a mover, please? Councillor Farina. Councillor B. Maslin. Once again, councillors, is there any debate on that item? Being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.3.4, 4, review of fees and charges 25-26. And whoever did put that together, fantastic job. Highlighted all the changes. It was wonderful. I just left it so long before I got to those. I just look at this. Fantastic. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm sure all councillors did when they. The councillors, can I have a mover, please? Councillor D. Masler. Seconder, please. Councillor Fredo. Do we have any debate, councillor? Being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you. So the 7.3.5 policy adoption, the Australia Day event policy. Move it, please. Of this option 1 or option 2? So option 1, do I have a mover for option 1?
The amended one,
Please. So I was recommendation, so basically a mover and a seconder to make that decision.
Somebody can move option 1 and we deal with it. And then, or someone can move option 2 straight up.
I move option 2, but with only number 1, without the part 2, my reasons. Guess anyone wants to move foreshadow motion, and that's well.
You, at this point in time, nobody's moved and you can move.
Yes, I'd just like to
You
move.
can, sorry, councillor, you can move a motion.
Okay, so I'd just like to move option 2, dot point 1. Just defer the adoption of the policy, but without part 2 with the community engagement.
So you've moved that, so
Only. I think my reasons now, only because first of all, I really like to thank the administrator for going and the together and just making those changes that we discussed last week. We appreciate that. And my reason for wanting just to defer it, so we have a really good base to start with now. Australia Day's been, so there's no massive rush to do this. We've got to get it right. Councillor, out of respect for Councillor Kelly, I believe it was his idea, recommendation to put the policy forward. He has a leave of absence this month. I know he's quite passionate about it. So out of respect for him, I would like to defer it, lay on the table for a month, and then we can chat about it at the CIS. And at this stage, and I don't believe we need to do any communication just yet. That will be more appropriate after we. Main reason is for Councillor Kelly was his proposal.
no, I totally endorse that. So do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Farina. Councillors, is there any debate on the motion put forward by councillors Gendel, which is defer the adoption of the Australia Day events? See, and do we need to put it in the February council meeting? Please.
Yeah, defer it, but why to when? You know what I mean?
To be discussed at the CIS.
Yeah, to enable discussion at the CIS and inclusion. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Okay, councillors, that's the current motion on the table. Is there any debate? Questions? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you, Cecile. Items 7.4.1 all tender and on the last day, 1 man, 8. Who's it? Councillor Lee Maslin. Second, please. Councillor Farina. Councillors, is there any debate or questions?
To the benefit of the gallery, the office recommendation is that, the local, basically, to resolve not to accept a submission received for the request for tender of Van Dodge Park purely on a cost basis. It's extremely excessive. Talking about being done here, so, unfortunately, that was the case. But we had very many submissions. So hopefully we'll go better in round 2 and get it back in the realm of reality. Costings. So yeah, it's the council just to accept the office recommendation in regards to not accepting that submission. So
Thank you, Councillor Maslin. Any speakers against the motion? Any further speakers for the motion? So I have a question. So we have had the big banana constructed, is that right? Yeah. So that has happened. So now that, and then the construction phase will be the installation, and then the rest of the soft landscaping after that. Okay. Given that there's a lot of interest, and there is a significant cost to it, do you think that the price will come down, or if we're going to have to increase the outcomes in the transaction?
So we've got a major progress that we did directly after this, and Mark's going to contribute the next steps.
Maybe.
If depending on options.
Okay, thank you. Any other debate or question, council? There being none, I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? It's adopted unanimously. Still, thank you. Applications for leave of absence. Bill, motions of which previous notice has been given. Bill, questions from members without notice. Do I have any? Council.
It's probably a statement. No, it is a statement, Mr. President. I went to the Australia Day function at the yacht club yesterday, and I've been to a few, and I'd say that's probably the best one we've ever been to, the way it was run and everything else. So thank you to the staff and all those involved. I mean, everything through it, so I can be specific. And the welcome to country, which is something I'm ambivalent about. I don't care what they have done, but it was done so well. An excellent candidate to do that. Sort of excellent. The master ceremonies, I think she did a wonderful job. Because again, local, know some of the people and was able to get that vibe into it. And the vibe of the whole group there, there was a huge mixture of cultures and people from different backgrounds, and we all melded in. To me, it was really about Australia Day. It was fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Councillor. I totally agree with you. It was a great day as well. And we must thank this whole team, so I help put it all together. Right. Urgent business approved by the presiding member or by a decision of council. None. Matters for which the meeting will be closed to members of the public. We do have an item before us for closing the meeting. So councillors, can I move, someone move, we close the meeting? Public, Councillor Skender, Councillor Maslin. There is no debate. I'll take it, councillors. There's been no debate. That's adopted. Still. So to the members of the public, thank you very much for your attending today and attention. And thank you. And we'll be closing the meeting after this.